Hi, I'm Tom, you're watching Sony 365, and that is the last time I'm gonna be saying that. But I do have some very, very good, incredibly good news for you, in fact, about the future of this channel and who will be presenting these videos going forward. You're gonna be very happy when I tell you in a short while who's gonna have that responsibility. But what I wanna do first is, here's some footage of me walking up onto a building and doing my first ever rooftop review. That was my first video ever, actually, in my entire life. And I had no feeling whatsoever that it would be a success. And that's why I'm so relaxed in this video, because I thought no one's ever gonna see it because we won't put it on YouTube. But what happened is, Andres, who I filmed the video with, thought the video was okay. So we put it on YouTube and we got going from there. And basically, I said in that video that I would explain who I was and what was happening, and I forgot on both counts. So in this video, I want to just very quickly explain how Sony 365 happened, why it happened, and what's going to be happening next. And then just a few thoughts on my wonderful Xperia 1 Mark IV here. So here's what happened. So I was invited, before things kicked off in Wuhan and changed all of our lives, I was invited to a dinner I really didn't want to go to. I said no about 10 times and then eventually gave in and went to this dinner. And I'm so happy I did, because Sony 365 wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have gone to this dinner, because I was sat next to two absolutely incredible women who work for Sony Latin America. They were from Japan, both of them, and they were working here for a couple of years. I just absolutely loved talking to them, and they really just kind of planted a seed in my head. It's like, why is it every time I meet people who work for Sony, they're so cool and I enjoy it so much? It just got stuck in the back of my mind there. And then actually they came over for dinner. One of the women there and her husband, he also worked for Sony. I was a bit nervous about him coming over for dinner because he was quite high up, but just a fantastic guy, really, just amazing people. And that was in the back of my mind. When the pandemic hit in the UK, we just finished a contract with our presenter at the time. We needed a new presenter, but the restrictions in the UK were so severe, we couldn't go out and hire someone new, and it was difficult. So I said, don't worry, send me the gear here, I'll find someone here and we'll carry on from here for a while. But when the equipment arrived and all the phones and everything, the restrictions here in Panama were more severe than in the UK. And we weren't allowed out the apartment for maybe more than a couple of hours a week or something like that. Really strict. So what happened is, a friend of mine suggested, why don't you do the videos and we'll shoot them on the roof. It seemed crazy, we gave it a try, and the reaction from you guys watching this was actually better than I could have imagined. So we just carried on doing it. But the reason why it changed from BTEC to Sony 365 is because I just got really tired of even very popular, like the world's most popular influencers talking, I'm not going to do any swearing, but saying bad things about Xperia devices, which didn't make sense. I mean, they weren't true. They literally were untrue. And I felt this enormous sense of injustice. And I thought, you know what? Let's just create a channel that treats these products with the respect they deserve. It's still neutral. I'm not going to say things that, make it seem better than they are, these products. I just want to get the truth out there. And let's get to know Sony a bit more as a company, because it's a fascinating company. Not just the amazing history, but the direction they're going in as well. And so that's why it happened. And I'm extremely happy that we did that, because now the channel has a future. And as you will now learn, an incredible new presenter who I know you're going to love. And his name is Basil Cronfley. You'll remember him from the good old days when we were called BTEC at the very beginning, when I knew my place was the other side of the camera. So from now on, it will be over to Basil, who I know will do an amazing job with the channel in the future here. I want to say thank you to every single one of you who's watched my videos, sent me nice comments, asked me questions, and helped make this a success, because it really has been a success. And I never would have thought in my wildest dreams I'd have been able to string a sentence together on camera and make any of these videos make any sense at all. But somehow we did it. So let's do the thank yous. This is really important. I want to thank Bob, who's holding the camera now. When I was doing videos with Bob in the studio in Panama City here with Bob the Bonsai, who's out of rehab and healthy again, I'm happy to say, it really felt like we had a YouTube channel with a big future. It looked professional. That was a lot of fun. We had huge fun doing that. I also want to thank his other half, Petra, for helping us out with the studio setup and just behind the scenes there, the Instagram stuff. Really, really good people. I also want to thank Andres, because he filmed my first ever video up here on the roof there. without him and without doing that, maybe none of this would have been possible. I want to thank those amazing people from Sony who happened to meet before we kicked this all off. Without you, this would never have happened. And I want to thank Sony in general for sending me their products to review, because again, if they hadn't have done that, we wouldn't have had much to work with. I also want to thank every single person that's helped us get videos out. I was traveling around the world before I started, before the pandemic, and I started doing these videos. And I had to do a bit of travel in that little break there in the pandemic. I was filming videos in my hotel room in England and in places in Wales and other places. Oh, the USA, Miami. Anyway, every single one of those people that helped me with those videos, I'm gonna put a link to their various companies and projects, because they're all good people. And none of this would have happened without them. I want to thank our sponsors, because over the years, none of these videos would have been possible really without the sponsors. My favorites are 3 and Direct Mobiles. Love those guys. 3 and Direct Mobiles. Chitter Chatter as well. Absolutely amazing people. And others, have sponsored us. O2 and so on. O2 Business, I think. And this video, would you believe, is sponsored by these guys. If you're in Panama City and you're watching this, which is unlikely, I admit, and of course here, the PlayStation 5s are really hard to get hold of. They have them in multi-plaza. So go and check them out. They are some of my favorite people in Panama, and they're Sony fans too. Go and check out their store. There we go. Thank you to Wecom. One thing I forgot to say is, of course, I haven't done any videos for a long time, which is inexcusable, except I was having operations and, the Panama's medical community working hard to keep me alive. Very grateful to them, actually. Thank you. So that's why, in case you didn't know, if you've just tuned in, that's why. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and Basil's going to tell you more about this amazing device, the One Mark IV, and all Sony products from now on. Thank you again for watching. I'm extremely grateful for your support. I really mean that. I still can't believe this all happened. It's really been a very enjoyable, happy time for me, and thank you. Thank you for making it possible. Goodbye, and over to Basil.